Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. My name is Ian Ofula and this is KTN Newsdesk. There are only just 2 days left to the historic beatification ceremony scheduled to be held in Nyeri County, and already hundreds of the 300,000 people expected to participate are arriving. Some are engaged in preparations in one way or another, and currently the Catholic Church is leading a conference at the Catholic University of East Africa, from where our reporter Sharon Momanyi now joins us. Now, Sharon, what is the significance of this conference in regards to the beatification, and also who is in attendance, and at the end of it, what do we expect?
Yes, Ian, this is the International Missionaries Conference taking place here at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, a conference that has been organized by the Consolata Mission, and this is the mission that it's important to know that it is the institution that Sister Irene Stefani worked for, and we remember that the big event coming up this weekend in Nyeri, that is the beatification of Sister Irene Stefani, will be taking place. And so this conference is just one of the events that are taking place in the lineup to that big historic international event that will be taking place here on Kenyan soil. And so the conference is basically meant for the missionaries here, the priests and the sisters, to look inside their missionary work and just looking at how it is interacting with the society on various aspects regarding how the missionaries are, interacting with the youth and making impacts in the society on various aspects, including even leadership. And so it's one of the events that the Consolata Mission has organized in the lineup to the beatification that will take place this weekend. And just to understand more about this conference, I'm now joined by Reverend Professor John Lukwata, who is a professor here at the Catholic University, who will help us to understand more about this. Karibu sana, Father, if you will. And just to understand, we want to understand, this is an event that is of a big magnitude and has been largely highlighted in the past few days. And President Uhuru Kenyatta himself declared it a state event. So Kenyans may want to understand how important, how relevant is this event to Kenyans?
Well, first of all, Sharon, we like to say congratulations to the missionaries of Consolata for their mission in Kenya and in this region. This is a lineup to the event that will happen on Saturday, the beatification of Irene Stephanie Nyadha. We are looking at the achievements of the missionaries of Consolata in their parishes, schools, hospitals, orphanages, and other places. But I think the relevance of Irene to the people of Kenya, especially the young people, because she died at a very young age of 39, is the nickname they gave her, Nyadha, which means merciful mother. The country has been in the international media for all sorts of wrong reasons, episodes of violence, terrorism, victims of terror all over. This event is bringing good news of joy and hope to this country. And the message would be that we do need compassion, people that are agents of mercy, of love, of one another, just like Irene did, leaving her country, forgetting her culture, forgetting her continent, to come to another continent and be with us.
So the message of compassion, which is not just tied to the Catholic faith, and is of course a relevant message to the entire Kenyan community. And also, just to highlight, what does this process, what will the ceremony be all about? What is beatification?
Thank you. Some people have been saying beautification. We should be becoming beautiful, making oneself beautiful. This is a bit different. It's beatification. It is declaring somebody blessed, living with God, because she lived a life of God while she was here on earth. So what will happen in Nyeri is that on Saturday there's going to be an outdoor ceremony, a very big mass and the actual rite of beatification will be a fairly simple one. There is the promoter of this cause. We call him postulator. He will request the representative of Pope Francis to officially declare Irene blessed. We are told that Cardinal Pengo of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, will then read the apostolic letter of Pope Francis that will officially then declare Irene in the list of the blessed of God. And that will mean, therefore, that she will be venerated publicly, and a large portrait of her will be unveiled. And then there will be official clapping and welcoming the new blessed, who, by the way, is both Italian and Kenyan and African at the same time. Then after that, then the Mass will go on as usual. We are told that Cardinal Njue will then preside over the Mass. It will be a Mass of thanksgiving and gratitude to God.
Okay. Father John Kwata there just explaining to us what kind of a ceremony we expect this weekend in Nyeri during the beatification of Sister Irene Stephanie, and we will be bringing you more of these details throughout the weekend and a comprehensive coverage of that ceremony. And for now, I take you back to the studio with Ian.
Thank you very much, Sharon Momanya. Of course, we shall have more of that story in our subsequent bulletins, and also we'll cover that event on Saturday, the major celebration, quite historic there, being followed by all over the world, right, even from Vatican. Now, moving on, 4 Narok County legislators are seeking 100,000 signatures to support their bid to oust Governor Samuel Ole Tunai. The mission is fronted by Senator Stephen Ole Ntutu and MPs Johanna Ngeno for Emuraya Dikir, Korei Lehman for Narok South, Moitalel Kentamp for Narok North, and Narok West MP Patrick Ntutu. They say all they want is a governor who is accountable. There was tension in Narok town as the security was beefed up. The plans to demonstrate, however, aborted after County Commissioner Arthur Osia warned against holding a demonstration within the county headquarters. Heeding to the warning, the leaders resorted to a baraza meeting at the Leminet holding grounds, where they officially launched their petition exercise, which they say will similarly be launched in all the 5 constituencies in the county. Governor Tunai recently accused the leaders of inciting the public, saying that he had been cleared of corruption allegations.
Watu walikuwa wamepeleka hii mambo ya hii mkutano, hatukuwa tumesema leo ni maandamano. Tulisema leo ni siku ya kuja kulaunch signatures, hakuna mambo ingine mingi. Nataka tu kuambia watu ya Narok mutulie, kwa sababu pengine yuko wachache wameona sisi tukichangia hii mambo ya Narok kwa Senate.
Tumeongea na tumekubaliana na wananchi wa Narok County kwamba we are going to initiate the collection of signatures, alafu tuhakikishe kwamba we are targeting over 100,000 signatures. Tuhakikishe kwamba huyu governor ameondolewa kwa njia yoyote. Kwa hivyo leo tumelaunch collection of signatures na tutahakikisha kwamba every constituency naye ilaunch yake so that we collect signatures in all the whole of the county.
And still on matters politics, 70 members of Parliament are meeting at the Aberdare Country Club to discuss the issues pertaining the Mount Kenya region. The 70 senators and members of the National Assembly are holed up at the Aberdare Country Club to map out the region's way forward. According to the patron Kiraitu Murungi, the legislators have resolved to combine their political parties to form one vehicle to ferry them to the next general election. They also expressed their support for President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto.
This time around, we have decided to come together early, put in place proper structures, so that when it comes to 2017, President Uhuru Kenyatta wins with even a larger margin than he won in the last elections. And we have also decided to perpetuate this regime by supporting the Deputy President William Ruto to be the president from the year 2022.
Vile Kenya iko saa hizi, watu wanaketi pamoja na majirani. Ukiangalia hata counties za coast wanaketi wanaangalia, je, kwetu tutafaidika namna gani?
We commit to the unreservedly supporting program to eradicate illicit brews and illicit drugs, mercilessly fight drug barons in the region. Yes? Yes?
Marsabit County is set to hold its 8th cultural festival incorporating 14 communities. The annual festival promotes cross-cultural interaction. It also promotes cohesion and integration. Take a look.
Building resilience and sustaining growth through cultural heritage is intended to promote mutual understanding and peaceful coexistence of the various ethnic groups, as well as provide forum for highlighting the immense economic potential in various sectors abound in the county, including tourism and very many other opportunities that we, as we move along, we are going to exploit, including wind power. You might get an opportunity to see the biggest wind farm in the world.
Making Lake Turkana a cradle of humankind, this will be one of the main events. So we began at a small event, it became national, now it has become part of our long-term vision. So this is something that we hope will take it.
Elsewhere, hundreds of donkey owners stand up for the National Donkey Welfare Day held at Olkalau Stadium in Nyandarua County. It is organized by the KTN Network for Dissemination of Agricultural Technologies and the Brook Hospital for Animals in Kenya. The day was marked with calls to sensitize stakeholders and both the county and national government to enact laws on the donkey's welfare.
This year's theme of the Donkey Day in Swahili says, Sheria zimtunze punda. In that, as you work, because of the welfare work that we are doing, addressing the welfare of donkeys, the part of advocacy in relation to laws is also an objective that we work with. And what the theme that the message we're trying to send across is that we need the national government and the county governments to enact laws that are welfare friendly to animals and to donkeys.
Huu mradi ulianza kitambo kidogo in 2001 na wakati tulipokuwa tukianza wakulima wengi hawakuwa nafahamu jinsi watavyotunza punda wao. Lakini kwa hiyo miaka yote tumekuwa tukaelimisha na kumekuwa na mabadiliko mengi katika ule utunzaji wa punda. Hizo wakati punda walikuwa na vidonda mingi sana na wanafanyishwa kazi mingi, kazi ambayo inapita kiasi ambayo wanaweza kustahimili.
Well, we are going for a short commercial break, but don't go too far. We'll be back with more news, including some from the sports desk. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, when it rains in Nairobi, it pours. Residents of the capital have in the last week experienced the worst possible scenarios following continued rains. Some have described the aftermath as an embarrassment that a major capital can be brought to its knees from showers. So who is to blame? Nairobi Governor Dr. Evans Kidero is on the record with KTN's Edith Kimani.
This past week has undoubtedly been a nightmare for Nairobi residents. On Monday, a 2-hour downpour led to a citywide traffic snarl-up, left cars submerged, and worst, at least 10 people lost their lives after a wall came tumbling down on them in South Sea. That's an estate on the outskirts of the CBD. Tuesday was no better, with traffic reportedly lasting up to 11 hours in some places, leaving 11 children in a primary school bus trapped in the cold and rain for over 10 hours. The Standard newspaper actually reported that through the rain and wild traffic, border operators were ferrying people to hospitals, most of them with children. So it's no wonder that Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero found himself facing a gun's barrel. But it was not until Wednesday, when the storm had literally passed, that Kidero finally said something. I would like to assure Nairobians that the county government, in collaboration with Kenya National Highways Authority and Kenya Urban Roads Authority, are doing their best to unclog all blocked drainage systems in the city to ensure smooth and efficient flow of water. Nairobi County, the business hub of East Africa, was ground to a halt because of blocked drainage. But Kidero quickly came up with a plan to fix the problem. The county government announced that a 50 million shilling emergency recovery fund would be set up and used largely to clear and unblock clogged drainage channels and reconstruct damaged roads. Now, it sounds really good on paper, but the truth is that Kidero's plan is simply a proposal. See, the money Kidero is talking about will come from the development expenditure budget of the county, but for the next financial year. So we're talking about 2015-2016. However, before he can get that money, the proposal has to be tabled in the county assembly, debated and approved by the MCAs. This process is usually no less than 3 months. And let's not forget that the money needs to be released from the national government. Traditionally, that money is sent out to counties after the first quarter, meaning that realistically, the earliest that money can be used for this emergency is in the second quarter, which begins in October. Then there's the fact that the drainage situation is a long-term project, and as such, before any service to unblock these drains can commence, there must first be the rigorous procurement process of the contractor. Yet Kidero still insists that drainage and improvement of road networks in Nairobi County is one of my key priorities. One might be inclined to agree with this statement if they're looking at the county government budget implementation review reports. See, according to that report, Nairobi County spent 18 million shillings on routine maintenance of roads and 13 million shillings on rehabilitation of access roads and other projects in the first financial quarter. The half-year report shows that this half-year alone, Nairobi County has pumped 113.4 million shillings into maintenance of roads. So where is this money going? Down the drain, if we're to go by the Auditor General's report. On roads in Nairobi County, the report reads in part, physical verification on sampled roads revealed that most of the roads rehabilitated had gone back to their dilapidated state, indicating shoddy or poor supervision of the works. It gets even better. The report continues to say, it was not explained why the final payment certificates were made before thorough inspection and commissioning of the rehabilitation works. Some construction firms were also given multiple and continuous maintenance works before carrying due diligence on previous performance and capacity. Well, that seems to explain the poor state of the roads, but what about the root cause? Garbage buildup in the county, clogging up the drains. Well, that same Auditor General's report makes some very interesting observations. Inquiries at the Registrar of Companies revealed that some of the firms, these are the ones contracted to collect garbage, were not traceable at the Registrar of Companies, while audit inspection at Dandora dump site revealed that some lorries did multiple dumping within a few minutes. So, for example, at 10-minute intervals, making it doubtful whether they had actually left the site. It was also observed that 166,225,352 shillings was paid to various firms which were not in the pre-qualified tendering list. So there are clearly issues of accountability and transparency plaguing this one aspect of Nairobi County, and the solution has been to throw more money into the muddy waters. So far, it's been difficult to point out a single actionable plan that is in place from the county government. Let's not forget that it is the national government, through the deployment of 10,000 servicemen, that has come to the rescue of Nairobi. But Kidero says that drainage and improvement of road networks in Nairobi County is one of my main priorities. But to be fair, Mother Nature can be unpredictable, and no one can quite anticipate a river bursting its banks. In fact, Kidero himself said it. In 2 days, we have had 10% of the annual rainfall, 150 millimeters of the 1,870 in 365 days, worse than El Nino rains of 1997. Well, that's true. But it's also true that the Meteorological Department had forewarned everybody about this. On their website, the Meteorological Department has highlighted depressed rainfall is expected over most of the eastern sector of the country during March to May 2015 long rain season. However, rainfall over most parts of western and central counties is likely to be near average with a slight tendency to above average over several parts of western Kenya. Nairobi County is lumped in the central counties. The department goes on to make a very specific recommendation to county authorities. Municipalities located in western and central regions where good rainfall is expected are advised to open up drainage systems early enough so as to avoid water accumulation due to surface runoff that lead to flash flooding. This forecast was published on the 27th of February 2015, 2 months before the rains began. Nairobi accounts for 60% of the country's GDP. One county is responsible for more than half of the entire country's wealth. And when that county grinds to a halt, then a lot of money is lost. Official data actually indicates that an average of 50 million shillings is lost daily through traffic. And that's ordinary traffic, not 11-hour traffic. Money was lost. Property was destroyed and lives were lost. But Kidero said, sincere condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones as a result of the current heavy rains and 7 others injured. See, Kidero may be sorry, but sometimes sorry is a sorry word.
Thank you, Edith Kimani, for the record. We hope we won't see scenes as what we saw last week when it rains. Now let's get into sports. Fabregas was sent off as Chelsea's end-of-season tour went horribly wrong. The Hawthorns, West Brom's goal 2 hero side of Berino piled an embarrassment for the 10-man Chelsea as champions looked as if they had packed up for the summer already. And Fabregas will also get an extended summer break because he's a red card, which means he will get a 3-match ban that will see him miss the start of next season. Fabregas got his marching orders in the 29th minute after bizarrely kicking the ball and hitting West Brom midfielder Chris Brunt on the side of the head. Chris Brunt then ensured that Chelsea would leave the Hawthorns winless from their last 4 visits by rifling in a powerful shot that beat Courtiers at his near post.
The Chelsea player was given a straight red card for his moment of he dusted himself off and slotted in his second.
And running may be Ethiopia's top sport, but the country's new generation is not afraid of embracing change. The Addis Ababa potholed roads have now become a famous playground for aspiring young skateboarders.
Skate capital Addis Ababa is not easy, but the city's potholed roads and clogged traffic are no deterrent for these young skaters.
Yeah, we're just trying to use whatever it is in Addis. Even if the spots are pretty bad, we just make the best out of it.
In Shiromeda, a poor neighborhood in the hills above the city, the spot is offering moments of fun and escape for young people living there. A non-profit group called Mega Biscata is helping them learn with lessons and building these ramps so the boys and girls can spend their free time honing their skills.
There's nothing much to do for the kids.
There's nothing much to do for the kids, you know. This is the only place they can come and hang out and speed their things. And also, art of a skate session, helping them to do something positive.
Skateboards are hard to come by in Ethiopia, but its growing number of fans has attracted the support of skateboarders worldwide who have donated dozens of boards, enabling more children to give the once unknown sport a go.
So like, as soon as they see this sport, a new sport that people didn't like, you know, you can't picture that in Africa, they're amazed and they're happy to see it here. So it's pretty amazing, yeah.
Every Saturday, the young skaters are encouraged to put down their boards and do something worthwhile for the wider community, to help a single mother or do some cleaning. This is to show that even skating daredevils can also have big hearts.
Elsewhere, Stephen Curry and LeBron James will rehearse their MVP race rivalry, while Cleveland's one-man band of LeBron James will test Atlanta's team harmony as the conference final tip-off, while home court advantage will be on Atlanta's side to start the series. The Cavs will be focused on the winning one of the first 2 games to steal that edge. The Hawks have won 7 of the past 8 meetings with Cleveland, according to the Odds Shark NBA database, including 3 of 4 during the regular season. The lone loss was, however, a blowout as the Cavs won the first meeting 127-94 back in November 15 as 7-point home favorites. The Atlanta Hawks may be top seed heading into Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals on Wednesday, but the second-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers are favorites to win the series and advance to the NBA Finals.
Court tensions and injury, the King is showing he's no spent force, averaging 26.5.
And that story marks the end of our bulletin right now. Do join us in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Ian Ofula. Our Twitter handle is @KTN Kenya. You can get to tell us what is happening around you. For now, enjoy the rest of your viewing.